must be stoked after tearing through the competition to be named the Master. Can you believe you made it this far? Come on in.
What's up, everyone? It's Derek.
And Ray.
And Kevin.
Whoa, there's 3 of us here?
Yeah, it's a marvel of modern science, for sure.
We're the 3 Musketeers. We gotta stick together for these things.
Alright, so we're here today to play another game that requires a big, bulky plastic peripheral. This is Tony Hawk Shred for the Xbox 360.
Yeah. Hey, I did an awesome trick. Woo! Falling off the board.
Get some, Ray, get some.
Not enough space.
Whoa, look what you're doing, though.
Yeah.
Did a handstand. Do that again.
Did I really?
So as we mentioned, this game comes with something that looks like a hoverboard, however it does not hover, the Tony Hawk Shred board peripheral. And I gotta tell you guys, I'm really impressed with this thing. It's really durable.
We started grinding away at the concrete floor here in the underwater base. I mean, we really put this thing to work.
Yeah, I'm kind of surprised that we didn't break it, honestly. Or at least that we didn't break ourselves. It was a little bit slippery, but...
You beat the hell out of it.
Yeah, I did my best. You know, we got to test this thing out and make sure it's safe. We're looking out for you guys.
Yeah, so even though now our board is covered in concrete dust and many different footprints, the thing held up and still works.
Yeah, it's so you pay $100 for the game and the board, which you need to play the game. And, I mean, Kevin was throwing it across the room. He thought that would do a cool trick, but all it really did was put a hole in the wall.
Yeah.
No bonus points for that.
Yeah, but it was a bonus in real life because it was awesome.
You got a real-life achievement.
That's right.
Not these virtual ones. But it held up, and it played the whole time, even though we were stomping on it, because you really have to get physical with this thing to control the game.
Yeah, the control for the game basically revolves around the board. Using the board, trying to do, ollies and nollies and rips and twists and eggplants, and I know at least a couple of those are actual terms. I'm not sure about all of those, but you're doing a lot of different things with the actual board in order to perform on the screen these various kinds of tricks that you would not be able to do in real life.
Yeah, as you guys have probably noticed from the live footage, we fell a lot. And the reason we fell is, 1, we're completely uncoordinated. But 2, I mean, all you really have to do to control this game is kick and jump, and you don't really need to know at all what you're doing. So, in a way, it's sort of like a motion-controlled button masher, in that you just, kick and flip the board and twist it, and, Ray even picked it up at one point and spiraled it over his head like a bow staff. And it worked. So it's sort of like a button masher, but also in that if you actually know how to skate and aren't complete idiots like us, I think there's probably some depth there. Just like any button masher, if you take the time to learn it, there is some actual gameplay there.
Yeah, but I think for us it's pretty safe to say that it's kind of a skateboard waggle. Or maybe skaggle, you could call it. There's a lot of skaggle in this game.
Tony Hawk Skaggle. That's the next game in the series.
Yeah.
One thing about this game was that we knocked it a lot for not really knowing a lot about skateboarding and the controls and whatnot, but there is something that's nice about it, is that if you are a skateboarding amateur, there's a lot of tutorial videos to kind of tell you what an ollie is, what a manual is, what these different moves are that you're going to try and perform. But it did get too kind of tedious after a while because we kind of picked up on it pretty quickly, and after every time we screwed up, after every failed mission, which is going to happen in this game. If you're not a skateboarding pro, you will have to do some missions over. But there were so many videos coming up that you felt like you were watching TV more than actually playing the game.
It also sort of becomes kind of restrictive, and you're constantly being told what to do, how to do it, and that sort of also bleeds into the setup of the game. The game sort of forces you to play certain modes and certain objectives, where all we really wanted to do was just free skate and have a good time, but Kevin had to do these 30-second missions, and we had to do things we didn't want to, and that's pretty frustrating up front when you just start playing a game.
If you're really into skateboarding, it's not a bad pickup. There's a lot of multiplayer options. You can do both locally and online. Of course, the problem with locally is that in order to do it locally, you need more boards, which means everybody has to drop $100 on the game and the peripheral. But you know what? As a skating game, if you're just looking to just goof around and just get your skaggle on, this isn't a horrible pickup. But personally, I prefer Shaw and White. That's just me.
So it's interesting to have a peripheral to actually use and feel a little bit more like I'm skateboarding. But I don't know, I'm just not into it enough to warrant the big investment of that extra piece of hardware. But I think diehard skateboarding fans or people that can actually skate might get a really big kick out of this game.
You mean you can't actually skate, Kevin? Because you
Wait,
did a pretty good job of deceiving us all.
Yeah, my cover's blown. Sorry, guys.
Yeah, it's a great. I would say it's a great skateboarding game in sort of that new school skateboarding style of it's on rails. You move forward by yourself. All that's up to you are the tricks, and really that's the most fun of these games. So it's nice that a lot of the modern skateboarding games, like Tony Hawk Shred, are sort of focusing on that instead of pushing off with your foot, which isn't as much fun. Although in real life it's a lot safer to just do that. But who cares about safe, especially when we have concrete floors? So if you consider yourself one of two things, either Avril Lavigne or skateboardy, as Kevin so succinctly put it, Tony Hawk Shred is definitely a good choice.
But if you're not really into boarding, then maybe it's just a bit too skaggly.
Ollie and raising it slowly for a manual. That was killer.